Football is such a brutal game that players have to be cautious of their safety and conditioning to carry out their careers. Nothing scares a footballer more than getting harmed. It's for sure every footballer's bad dream, like they wake up, broken leg. But that's the reason a few players are hesitant to jump into tackles. Getting harmed ruins both the player's and the mentor's plan, and more importantly, could demolish an entire player's career. While each footballer desires to play far into their 30s or resign at the zenith of their profession, some players' prospective journeys are tragically cut short. Football at the best level requires stable physical and mental fitness, and the body can periodically capitulate to the requests of such genuinely physical activity. Every era has a squandered asset, with players' bodies breaking down to where they can never again contend at their best. However, as far as some might be concerned, the end of their careers can be traced all the way back to a single, solitary second, a shattering tackle, or an unfortunate twist. Numerous capable players never continued as before after an extensive injury. Abrasions have destroyed the professions of numerous players. And on that note, let's take a look at the 5 players whose careers were finished because of some serious injuries. Let's get into the video. Hopefully this isn't too upbeat for you for this topic. Loes Nilles is a 54-year-old Belgian soccer player who unfortunately retired before his time at the age of 33. Nilles was a skilled yet undervalued football player who was very much respected by all of his teammates. The Belgian international is notable for his time at PSV Eindhoven and Anderlecht. He scored more than 100 goals for the two teams, and with PSV Eindhoven, he set up a deadly hostile tandem with Van Nistelrooy and won 2 league titles. Nilles soon long laid down a good foundation for himself as one of the most desirable players on the planet, and then moving to a Premier League, which lingered in 2000, and Aston Villa getting his services. Tragically, Nilles experienced one of the most absolute horrendous injuries in football history during a game versus Ipswich. Nilles' right leg was crushed in 2 places after a conflict with the Ipswich goalie. And despite any medical consideration, the injury was too serious to even consider fixing. So he resigned from football not long after the occasion, and presently fills in as a striking mentor for PSV Eindhoven. Dean Ashton was a skilled goal scorer who could hit with his foot or his head. From a long lifespan or just being in the ideal situation at the ideal time, it appeared Ashton could venture into the strides of England's top players of the past. However, destiny interceded as Ashton fractured his lower leg after a confounded tackle from fellow England worldwide Sean Wright-Phillips during one of the training sessions. From that day forward, he made 41 more games and acquired his England debut in 2008. However, his wounds kept on wearing him out sooner than he would have liked to. Ashton finally took retirement from the ball, cutting a promising, splendid career short, But after a long-standing ankle injury, Dean was forced to retire at 26. But yeah, he still got a good little bit of mileage out of soccer, even after breaking his entire femur. And we're proud of him, just like our own little baby boy. The injury that ended the profession of Coventry defender David Bust is broadly considered as one of the most absolutely awful and most intense game set of experiences. It occurred in a Premier League match between Coventry City and Manchester United in April 1996. Bust clashed with United's players Dennis Irwin and Brian McClare and experienced extreme complex breaks to his right tibia and fibula. The harm was extremely serious, and so serious that surgeons considered cutting Bust's leg at a certain point. He left the emergency clinic after 26 medical procedures. However, he was unable to play football well enough at all anymore. He had to resign at 29 years old, which really blows, but, that's the name of the game, right? Hurt ball. Pierluigi Casiraghi arose with a solid reputation, having recently played for Juventus, Lazio, and Chelsea, just as for Italy in the 1994 World Cup, and was expected to make a prompt effect in the football arena. Sadly, it didn't quite work out that way, and after scoring just a single goal in his initial 9 games, a hard accident with West Ham goalkeeper Shaka Hislop left the Chelsea striker in distress on the Upton Park field. He experienced a ruptured knee tendon that necessitated 10 operations to fix, and unfortunately it never came to reality, and he had to resign in 2002. Alf Inge Haaland was an energetic football player who played for clubs like Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and Manchester City all through his career. He didn't get along with Roy Keane, as seen by their on-field experience in a game against Manchester United in 2001. Keane savagely kicked Alf Haaland out in the right knee, which caused a very serious injury. Keane admitted himself that he intended to harm Haaland on that day. Following a red card for the tackle, his disclosures landed Keane a further suspension and more punishment, as it rightly should have. That's so terrible of him to do. Come on, professional courtesy, you douche. Haaland played for Norway for the next week. However, he never played for over an hour and a half again before resigning in 2003 at the age of 30. Manchester City's Colin Bell had the world at his feet before his profession came to a shivering end in November 1975. He had won a league title with the city and chalked up more than 500 appearances for his club. And he was moving towards his 50th England cap when the city took on the locals' rivals United. A tackle from United captain Martin Buchan tore every one of the tendons in his right knee after his studs became planted in the ground. Despite everything, Bell still does not accuse Buchan. Very thoughtful of him to do so. He battled for a very long time to save his career, making numerous appearances along the way, and yet in 1979 he arrived at the resolution that his knee just wasn't gonna deal with it any longer, and he chose to on his career. Exactly when Steve Froggatt planned to take his career to the higher level, a serious injury struck the Coventry winger at the worst of times that you could imagine. He experienced a genuine ankle injury, which first sidelined him for just a year, with additional operations needed before he eventually punched out toward the finish of 2001 season. His career lasted 10 years, and after that, he announced his retirement. The accident which finished Alex Notman's profession was something of a harmless one. The former Manchester United trainee left Old Trafford to take care of himself at Norwich City, and had been performing great for almost 2 years at Carrow Road, before they ventured out to confront local rivals Ipswich and Portman Road in September of 2002. Notman, a striker, was defending a free kick in his area and lined up to frame a divider in an attempt to impede Marcus Venus' shot, which hit him on the foot. The shot harmed his ankle tendons to the extent that he just wasn't able to recover, and he reported a retirement just 1 year after this. An ACL injury finished Stuart Holden's career. Yet a long list of wounds meant the American was battling to save his career for a long time. Everything began with a clash with Manchester United defender Johnny Evans, which left him with a wrecked leg in April 2011. Kept him off for quite a long time and started winding down, which at last carried his profession to its early end. He got that injury from a League Cup tie with Aston Villa, but when a loose pin was found in his leg, further medical procedure was required, and he missed the whole season. Holden returned, and the fans most loved was loaned to Sheffield Wednesday to regain match wellness, which was enough for him to earn a spot in the USA crew for the Gold Cup in 2013. However, he ruptured his ACL in the final, and before doing it again in his rebound for Bolton's reserves, so all things considered, the game was up, and he resigned at the age of 30. Benjamin Collett is an American former footballer who played as a central midfielder for Manchester United, the New Zealand Knights, and the AGOVV Apeldoorn. However, he ruptured his ACL in the final before doing it again in his rebound for Bolton's reserves. So, all things considered, the game was up, and he resigned at the age of 30. Benjamin Collett is an English former football player who played as a central midfielder for Manchester United, the New Zealand Knights, and the AGOVV Apeldoorn. Collett broke 2 bones in his right leg after a challenge by Middlesbrough Gary Smith in May 2003, which saw his dream career at Old Trafford finished at the time of only 18. The player was granted €4.5 million for loss of profit when the occurrence was taken to High Court in 2008, with Middlesbrough and Smith conceding responsibility. After experiencing the injury, Collett went to Holland and New Zealand and played a modest bunch of games for the AGOVV Apeldoorn and New Zealand Knights. However, they couldn't proceed. These great soccer players strongly handled their situations, and they did their best in every situation that they faced in their injuries. Many great potentials ended up squandered due to accidents, but that doesn't mean the team stopped praising them. They played their game well, and it was a real treat to our eyes. And with that, the video comes to an end. Hope y'all liked it, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you did like it, and want to subscribe to this person talking about soccer. Yeah, enthusiasm! Share the video with football fans, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Why did I keep this voice up? Later, everybody.